The brown one was over here by the fence, and he ran over here to where that one is at. So the brown one is good. He's sitting here. Look like he got some boo-boo over there, and it looked big.
And it's important to pay attention to your animals, because honestly, I thought he was gonna die. Hey, what's going on, y'all? This Dre over here at Set Apart Gardens, where our main focus is to teach black folks how to get back to the land and how to teach beginners in agriculture and farming how to start homesteading and farming. So if you feel like you can benefit from this channel in any way, keep watching this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any useful information that can help the people out. All right, peace and blessings. Good job, buddy. So just a little bit of background on our goats. So we have two, and you can see them behind me. I gave them some grain, just a little bit, and I'll tell you why in later in the video. But they are Boer goats. The male is a spotted Boer goat, and the female, she's a solid red doe. So our main reason for getting these two goats is to start our own flock. We actually bought them from a guy in South Carolina who was downsizing his flock, getting ready to move. So he sold these two. I got them for a great deal. I got them for $100 a piece, which is a steal. So we drove all the way up there. We got them. We've had them for about a month and a half or so as of right now. And our goal is to grow our flock with these two, get them bred, start having babies, and continue to grow our flock. But eventually, our main goal for them is meat. So that's why we have them. All right, so the main part of this video, the video is about how my goat almost died, right? Feed the sheep. How my goat almost died. And I noticed my goat was sick when one day I went back there, and he was sitting down. He was sitting down and he was just lethargic. And I didn't pay attention to it at first, but then I noticed it because, goats and sheep and everything like that, they're skittish. Goats are a little bit more friendly, but my goats, they're still a little bit skittish. Meaning, they'll be startled by you, they'll be frightened by you, so they'll run away from you. And usually that's what happens when I try to go up to him and approach him. And I went up to him and I went to approach him, and he didn't get up, he didn't run or nothing. So I'm like, So then I start petting him, and he didn't move at all. So I was like, oh yeah, something is definitely wrong. I tried to lift him up as well, but he just wanted to sit there. And I was like, man, something is wrong with him. And he was just so lethargic. So another thing I noticed as well was his poop. It was almost like dog poop. And if you're experienced goat owner, when their poop starts to go from those pebbles and it starts to get clumpy or mushy, then there's something definitely wrong. It's either parasites or overeating or something like that. So I was doing my research, and I saw that if your goat's poop looks like dog poop, then you should intervene pretty much immediately. So I started noticing that, and he was just lethargic. And then at one point he was even feverish, like you could clearly see he was kind of shivering. So that's how I noticed something was definitely wrong. But this is why it's important to observe your animals, because when you don't pay close attention to their behavior, then you can miss signs like that, and it can be detrimental for that animal, for your flock. Because also remember, animals carry diseases and they spread diseases. So if my goat was diseased and I didn't pay attention to it, then that goat could have potentially got that other goat sick. But what I realized is that it was from overeating. After I did my research, I forget the exact term for it, but basically a goat can overeat because I was feeding them grain. And that was my fault, because you're not supposed to give a goat or a sheep only but so much grain, because they're ruminants. They're meant to eat grass, so when you give them too much grain, that can be detrimental to them when they overeat. So honestly, I just thank God that I was able to save this goat. I thank God that he was able to allow me to be observant in what was going on as far as with the changes in behavior with the goat that almost died. Because if I hadn't paid attention, I guarantee you in the next 2 days, I'd have went back there and he would have probably been dead. Because of the simple fact, like when I found him like that, he was like lethargic. He was out of it. He had a little bit of shakes. He was not eating, he wasn't drinking anything. So I highly I definitely believe that he would have been dead in the next 2 to 3 days if I had not intervened. But thank God I was able to do some research, some quick research, and I was able to come across this stuff right here. It's called Power Punch. Basically, it's for goats who their energy levels are low. They're having problems with digestion, they're not eating, things like that. Pretty much what was going on. Also, if there's weather changes and things like that, shipment of goats, if they had just been shipped from somewhere to somewhere. And honestly, this right here was the perfect treatment for him, because all of those things, because like I said, at this time I had probably had them for like a month. And of course we took them from South Carolina to Georgia. We had to ship them. And then the weather changes, because it was getting cold at night in early morning, but it was getting warmer in the daytime. So the temperature was rising and falling, which is pneumonia weather. And his energy levels were low. He was having problems with digestion because he had overate. So this right here was the perfect treatment. So basically what I did was I had a syringe, and I just dipped the syringe in here, put it on the side of the goat's cheek, because they won't be able to spit it out. So you just put it in there, and then you just give them 1 milliliter per 100 pounds. So my goat, he's maybe 100 pounds, if that. So I just gave him 1 milliliter of this for like 2 or 3 days. And then when I wasn't able to put the syringe in his mouth, what I would do is I would take a little bit of feed, just a little bit. I would take a little bit, I would put 1 milliliter of this in there. I would stir it around, and then I would put it down. This was after he got his appetite back. Because man, when I tell you, after a day of me giving this to him, he was back up and walking. He was still a little bit slower, but he was back up and walking. And so after maybe 3 days, he was back to normal. So I just gave him, it to him an extra day just in case. And man, when I tell you this saved his life right here, I was able to find it at Tractor Supply. You don't have to order it offline. If you have a Tractor Supply store or a feed store, then you can get this for your goats, and it will definitely help them. All right, so I pray that this video reached you in the right way. I hope it benefited you. So to the point where if you have a sick goat, that you can be able to step in, intervene, and save your goat's life. So if this video benefited you in some kind of way, just hit that like button, subscribe if you want more content, and leave a comment below as well if you have any information. If you're an experienced goat owner and you have any information that'll benefit me and anybody else who's watching. So with that, I just want to say peace and blessings, family. Shalom.